This is what, are we on our third lecture series? I think this is our final lecture series of 2025. We'll be back again in February. But right now, first I'd like to thank our sponsors, Empire State Development and Take-Two Interactive, which are, they provide some funding that makes this series of events possible. And then I'd like to introduce to you some folks who may be familiar faces to some of you who are returning to the NYU Game Center to talk about these three games that are on the screen behind us, all of which came out this year, but have been in progress for much longer. So, yeah, we're going to do intros first. I think we'll start at the far end. Yeah, with Jenny. So tell us your name, some stuff that you've made, and then most importantly, when did you attend the NYU Game Center?
All right. My name is Jenny Jiao Hsia. I go by QDork on social media. Me and AP, along with Kelly or Jen Lee, Violet WP, and Ken Koda Snyder made the award-winning Consume Me. And I attended NYU, I think like 2015 or 2014 to 2017. I was part of NYU's first graduating BFA class. Are those all the questions?
Yes. Next is now you have to pass along to AP. Yep.
Take it away.
Yeah, hi. My name is AP Thomson, and I worked with Jenny on Consume Me over there. I also worked with Jenny on Beglitched, which was an NYU Game Center incubator project in the same cohort as Gabe, back when Gabe was working on APE OUT. And what were some of the other questions? I attended NYU from 2013 through 2015. It was the second ever class of the MFA, I think.
Also, Beglitched won Best Student Game in 2016.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'm Julián. I made despelote alongside Gabe and also Sebastián Balbuena and Ian Berman, who are not here tonight. I came to the Game Center from 2015 to 2019. I was part of the first freshman class, I think. What else was there?
What else did you made despelote, you mentioned?
I made despelote. When I was here, I made another game called Levedad that I'm still very proud of. And it's a game about taking pictures.
Can you play it today, or is it?
You can play it today. I haven't played it in a long time, but it still should work.
Yeah,
and it has like a functionality where like you can upload the pictures you take to a server, and I hope that still works.
Oh, well, I'd be impressed if that still works. All right, and last but not least.
Hi, I'm Gabe Cuzzillo, and I attended the NYU Game Center. I was the first BFA, so technically I alone was the first graduating class of BFA.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oops.
And I graduated in 2015, and I was here in a more informal way, because really I was a film student who was...
Yeah, you were part of the first adopted undergraduates of the NYU Game Center, like stolen from other departments. Yeah.
But I worked on despelote, and I also co-created Baby Steps with Bennett Foddy and Maxi Bach, and it's like a hiking game.
A hiking game, yeah. Good descriptor. Okay, let's talk about those games. So the next round in this game show is I want you each to give us a quick pitch for the game, after which we'll play like a bit of the trailer. But I want you to explain what your game is, but I want you to imagine that you're at some sort of game convention, and two people come up to be like, what is this game? And the two people are a kind of confused and slightly angry-looking grandpa and his 8-year-old granddaughter. Okay, first, the two of you can decide who's going to answer this question.
Hey, Grandpa, did you feel stupid, fat, and ugly in high school? Well, I did, and me and 4 other people made a video game about it. Do you want to take over?
Okay. It's an 8-year-old girl.
Hi there. So, I don't know if you're familiar with, like, say, the Persona series or the... No, you're a little too young. Okay, Princess Maker? No. Okay.
Those are old games.
Yeah, they're all old games. Do you know Schedule Management? Oh, Citizen Sleeper, that's recent. Maybe you played that one. A little bit of a... Yeah. Okay. Well, Consume Me is a game in a similar vein where you're effectively trying to manage teenage Jenny's free time and make strategic decisions about what you're going to do with it, all in an attempt to become hot. So, yeah.
And before we go on, we're gonna do the competitive part of this. Okay, raise your hands if you played Consume Me at all. Oh, pretty good. Okay, pretty good. All right, let's roll the clip. So this looks familiar to those of you who raised your hands, but for those of you who didn't raise your hands, now you can see what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to rudely cut off all the clips in the middle. Stop, Logan. Okay. Next, Julián, same question.
I always struggled describing the game, but maybe if I imagine these people. It's a game, despelote is a game about playing soccer, but it's a game about kind of remembering playing soccer as a kid and missing where you're from. And you play as a kid who runs and kicks a ball around this park, and there are like a bunch of people hanging out, and it all takes place during the first time that when Ecuador qualified to the World Cup, which here in the U.S. doesn't mean much, but in Ecuador it meant so much, and it changed my life, I think, or at least I remember it very, very vividly. Not very vividly, but I remember it as this huge thing. And I've been trying to make sense of that by making this game. Yeah.
All right, and how many of you have played despelote at all? Raise your hands. Also pretty good. Dang. All right, let's roll that clip.
Burgos en el marco argentino. Un tremendo ambiente de fiesta en el estadio Atahualpa. Va a jugar el tiro de esquina.
¿Qué le puedo servir? Ah, yo necesito darle de almorzar rapidito a mi marido, así que vengo acá a ver qué me ofrece, qué tiene. A ver, decime, según lo que vaya a cocinar, dígame.
¿Quién quiere la pelota?
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Ah, mira esas botellas.
Mire eso de ahí. ¿Cuánta es la botella?
Ya fuera de aquí, carajo, y me voy a quitar la pelota, guambrito.
All right, Logan, stop the clip. That's good. We absorbed enough of the adorable vibes. All right, and then, yeah, Gabe, same question. Grandpa and an 8-year-old girl.
Oh, Grandpa. Let's talk about baby steps. It's a weird, horny hiking game.
What does horny mean, the little girl says?
Oh, no, never mind. The little girl has to kind of cover the ears of the little girl.
Okay, now the grandpa's covering the little girl's ears.
Okay, good. Grandpa, there's a lot of dicks in this game. Maybe you're interested in that. I don't know who you are, where you come from. I don't know what you're into. I don't want to make any assumptions about you. Maybe you're really into hiking and also penises. No, it's about a fail son played by me. And then he gets teleported out of his parents' basement into a mysterious world full of characters voiced by Bennett Foddy. Oh no! And he has to touch grass and also learn to walk. That's important. He walks in it. You have to, for him. You have to take every step. That's the mechanic. It's a video game. It's in conversation with AAA games.
Okay, you guys all made a sale today
Okay,
to
great.
this grandpa. But the grandpa's not letting the granddaughter play this game. How many of you have played any of Baby Steps? Raise your hand. Okay, also pretty good. I think you guys all, you have a good sizable representation of players. All right, let's roll the Baby Steps clip.
Nate! Nate!
Nate, buddy, family meeting, let's go.
Are you bringing him food again?
Not right now.
We talked about this.
Not right now.
You are
okay?
literally killing him with these pizzas.
You just want to throw him out on the street.
No,
Is that what you want?
he's 35. I want him
Are you
to
still
have
watching One
some
Piece?
kind of discipline. Nate, if you can hear my voice, I want you to come up here and we're having a family meeting.
What the hell?
Okay, that's enough of that. Stop the clip. Stop that. All right. Thank you guys all for sharing your games with us. I'm going to jump right to a later question. What all of these games are in very different ways, kind of about some of you who are sitting here in front of this stage, right? But not exactly, right?
That never happened to me.
You never fell off the side. When you were hiking, you never fell down. Okay, Gabe. Sure. Yeah, in different ways, right? Like in despelote, Julián, you actually say like, oh, this is based on your experience, but then it's actually not all true. And there are sections of Consume Me where also it's sort of like the relationship of the game to, what actually happened in your life is like made a little bit more complex. It's a version of teenage Jenny. And then in Gabe's case, I think it's like on your Discord, people are like, "Did you look? I found this picture of Gabe Cuzzillo. He looks just like Nate, but with a slightly different color hair. Like, what's up with that?" And we leave it there. But yeah, so I'm going to ask you first. Like, yeah, what is it like to in 2025 to be sort of making a game that people might interpret as being autobiographical, even if it's not?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It makes it interesting to read comments about how I'm doing a Rick and Morty impression with my normal voice. No. I don't know. I mean, I guess I think of it as a performance, but it's like it's all improvised. Everything in the game is improvised, and it's very loose. And so a lot of what's interesting about the game is kind of the blurring of the lines between what's like us kind of goofing around and entertaining each other and what is the kind of the fictional situation. And I don't read the reactions as a result of feeling slightly insecure about that.
All right, you're like, okay, don't tell me what you think about this then.
I don't know. People seem to like it.
Yeah, and you just play one character in this game though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and Bennett plays like 5 different versions of Bennett Foddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's all the different aspects of Bennett.
Right,
We got
it's like-
gym teacher Bennett.
Right, Bennett the troll, Bennett the okay.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know.
All
What do you
right.
think about this?
Yeah, talk about you're very explicit
Take?
about the autobiographical.
I think I do the opposite where I kind of say, oh, this is autobiographical, but actually, like, it's not so autobiographical. Because I actually don't remember the time that it takes place in.
That's the twist.
That's the twist. That's the end. I was like 4 years old when Ecuador qualified to the World Cup for the first time. So, again, this is like this big thing that happened in the country, and it's like, to me, I like always have thought of it like, oh, I grew up in a world where Ecuador had already qualified to the World Cup, and that's very different to, like, for example, my parents. But yeah, I don't know. I think my approach was like, I originally just wanted to make a game about soccer. And I wanted to kind of understand why I liked it so much, and especially living here in New York and in the US, where it's not so big culturally, was like making me see it from like a different perspective. And yeah, when I started it, I kind of wanted to answer this question of like, oh, what is the role of soccer in my life? And then as I tried to answer it, I just had to use aspects of my life.
Originally, it had no dialogue. That was a big thing.
Originally,
It was about how soccer is a universal language and it has no specificity. And then it became hyper-specific.
Yeah, exactly. At the beginning, I didn't know, and then actually Gabe convinced me to...
It was me.
Yeah, I was very... So I had this idea that like soccer is like kicking a ball around is like a universal language. And like when you're passing a ball with somebody, like it's like you don't even have to talk, but you're like learning so much about them. I still think that that is true and is kind of in the game, but I was like, yeah, there's no dialogue. And then Gabe was like, you have to make it a story that actually is good because you're not saying anything. And I was like, no, we gotta.
So since we talked about the voice acting and baby steps, the characters in your game are all like a bunch of real people from your life.
Yes, exactly. So
improvised.
All improvised also. I think. I didn't want to write anything. Like, I really didn't want to write any...
Easy. It's not an artistic choice. It's just sheer laziness.
Exactly. I was like, Gabe, if you're going to make me write stuff right now, we can't do this. No. But I really wanted to kind of just capture... Like, it was also during the pandemic when we made this decision, and we were, like, not... Like, it was a time where you're just, like, on Zoom with all your friends, and you're, like, trying to figure out how to, like, talk because you can't see them in real life. And I remember like just having these very fun conversations with them and then being like, oh, what if when you're playing the game, you're just, it's this, basically. So I recorded like a test with them where it's just, they were just talking about whatever. And then I showed that to Gabe and Gabe didn't understand any of it because it was in Spanish. But he felt like it was a good vibe. And
should we play the clip that you sent us in a
yeah, I sent the clip. A clip. That is exactly this. The first
that's
time
like people having conversation from near the final version. No, it's keep going, keep going, keep going. It's so near the end.
Later.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Later.
No, keep going. It's like three more. Wait,
that one.
This is it.
Yeah.
So tell us who's talking in this. Are these
these are like just like my childhood friends, like I guess from high school, and I don't know what he's talking about. It makes no sense. It was funny. Like we talked about it a little bit before we recorded. Like, oh, what are we going to talk about? And then they completely went off script, and that was great because then I was like, yeah, this is better than anything I could write. My friend was actually here reacting like, what are you talking about? We were supposed to talk about all these other...
Yeah, he's like, Julián told us to talk about that World Cup.
But even...
So this is like you asked your friends to be like, okay, pretend it's this year.
Yeah.
And Ecuador's in the World Cup for the first time.
It was like very little like direction. It was just like, oh yeah, you're just hanging out. You're waiting for your friend to bring beers. Imagine you're in 2001, and my friends don't even remember it that much. So it's kind of like this kind of constructed history of like we all have been told this about this time, and this is what we're all doing. And I kind of liked bringing in everybody's interpretations of that way.
And one of your friends was like, if I was in 2001, I'd be the person being like, the World Cup is stupid. It's oppression. I'm an anarchist. Yeah.
Like, who cares? This thing that makes everybody so happy, like, it's actually really bad.
Right. Yeah. Nice. All right. Yeah. And so same question over to Jenny. Yeah. So I know you don't have voice acting in this, but I assume that your mother approved all of these lines that you wrote for her where she's like, "Ay, Jenny." Like,
she like, actually didn't get past the free time scene. She like did not figure out how to like select one of the mini games. So that's all she's seen, just like the morning wake up scene.
But she'll have seen the initial scene where she shows up, right?
I guess, yeah.
So she probably saw that, but you also said she was like skipping all the text.
Yeah, yeah. But what was the question specifically?
Was, what's it like to have a game out there that everybody knows is like an autobiographical game that where you are the star, and like are you getting reactions, or do you have feelings about that?
I guess it started out as more autobiographical, and then as I continued working on it and like formed a team, I think the character became more of like an amalgamation of like me and AP. So I have this really funny story. Like a lot of the mini games, they're like, you know, inspired from real life. And can I go find a clip?
Yeah, okay.
Right.
We've given Jenny special, but she's sitting at the end because she's gonna like run over and show stuff.
Oh, I hope I can find it.
So I guess this is autobiographical for you too, AP.
Yeah, maybe at like the mechanical level. A fun story that I think I've told a few times before is that when Jenny was first telling me about her idea for Consume Me, she showed me some of her notebooks from high school where she had a bunch of different like rules and constraints written out for her approach to dieting. And she was like, "Doesn't this look like a video game?" I'm like, "That looks so much like a video game." Yeah. And so we were kind of had that image in mind, making the game all about like to-do lists and goals and like following these different constraints. And then a couple years into development, or I guess many years into development, Jenny starts saying, "Actually, this character kind of resembles you more than me." I was like, "What are you talking about? We base this all on your notes and your old high school diaries and stuff." And she's like, "Yeah, but I never checked any of those to-do lists off." Like, I made them. I didn't check anything off. So now this character's more like you because this character's actually checking things off. So.
Yeah, so it's like someone hypnotized the actual teenage Jenny into behaving like a teenage AP.
Okay, I wasn't able to find a clip. I was gonna look for the clip where I like went back to my parents' house and I looked through all my journal entries, but AP just explained the story. But I wanted to show you this clip where there's like a random encounter and she finds some money on the ground. That's based on real life because one time when I was walking home from the Game Center, I found $760 on the street. Too bad you can't find that much in the game. I've been telling AP, 0.01% chance one person is able to find that much, but he refuses to put it in the game.
Oh. That would totally be like somebody would get that on YouTube and be like, "I found $768 and Consume Me."
In the Switch update.
Jenny forgot to mention actually that finding money on the ground is something she does all the time. I can't tell you how many times I've been like walking with Jenny and she's just like, "Oh, hey, $20," and like just picks it up off the ground. And she does it while walking her dogs all the time. And so it's like, what maybe appears to be the most unrealistic part of Consume Me, that Jenny goes for a dog walk and finds like $20 to $30 on the ground, is actually the most autobiographical part of the game.
That was staged. This was staged. I couldn't find it to make this TikTok.
And if you had it would be more than $1 for some reason. Yeah.
Can I draw a connection between these two games?
Go for it.
Well, I was thinking just now about the autobiographical content in each game and how Julián was talking about how the twist of despelote is moving it into saying, like, hey, this is kind of bullshit. And actually, Consume Me kind of does the same thing. I just finished it 2 days ago and have been thinking about the ending. And it's similar in a sense. Are we allowed to talk about the endings of these games?
Yeah, is that okay with you guys? Like you're
fine.
talking about the part where then like the rest of the team of the game is in the game?
Well, it just kind of goes through the rest of your life in the subsequent 10 plus years. And at that point, you like very kind of explicitly say like, okay, dieting left my life in a non-dramatic fashion, and it's kind of undermining the drama of like what we're expecting from the story, where it's gonna, come to a head in some way, and you're gonna go to rehab or something, or like the traditional kind of addiction narrative thing. But instead, you kind of break the fourth wall, I would say, and it reveals itself to. It reveals the artifice and reveals like what the truth of the autobiography is. And despelote is doing the same thing. Despelote, let me spoil the ending of that for you now, has this turn at the end where you, on the day that Ecuador qualifies, you get teleported to a janky 3D scan we made of the park that the game is based on, and Julián has narration where he talks about how basically that the game is this construction that doesn't have that much to do with his real experience of this thing. It's like a depiction of a rose-tinted memory. Like in the game he's 8, and in reality he was 4, and the park as depicted in the game is like this cozy place where you know all your neighbors, but in fact, in real life it's like gigantic, and there's cars everywhere, and it's like it's a city of 8 million people. It's like you don't know people. It's not cozy like that. It's like that's a fantasy. And I think in both cases, it's like that kind of move towards. Well, I'd be curious. In Despelote's case, I think we came up with that after much Strom and Draw, much like many attempts at coming up with some kind of climax for the game that failed. That, like, over the course of years, there were so many different versions of what we thought the ending was going to be, and finally this was the one that felt right. And I'm curious whether you went through the same process.
It also took us many years. And we also wanted to, I think we had like storyboards of like a cleaner fake ending, but it also didn't feel right. And probably like your experience, it was very, very slow and painful to come up with that ending.
Yeah, I think I was going to say probably the similarity is that we both spent so long making our games. And it's really...
For reference, it's 7 years and 10? 10?
10.
A clean decade?
I keep saying that.
Yeah, 10's
I should
good.
stop saying it.
No, I think 10's...
7 for me, I think. Or
Yeah,
8 for me,
yeah.
somewhere around there.
All right. It's nothing.
Yeah. No, it's a long time, and I think it's really hard to not be like after a few years, be like, well, why am I doing this? Like, why am I spending so much of my life looking at a computer doing this game? Like, what's the point? And then obviously you're like, well, actually it turns out that this is all fake. And actually it turns out, like you're just like going back on yourself, and it's kind of impossible not to be super reflexive. I don't know. I think for Despelote, obviously, it came from there because we had tried everything. We had thought about this ending so much, and at the same time, we were like, I think actually we started like doing some press around it.
It was because of the Panic event,
Yes.
where we had to talk about the game in front of a camera.
We had to
We're talking about the 3D scans and this whole idea that it's like drawing from the real place, but then also between us we were being like, well, actually it's kind of bullshit.
Right. So we were like, we're saying that this is like, oh yeah, this is exactly how it is, but actually it's not, and this is actually what the game is about. And yeah, actually having those, like talking to the camera in those interviews and stuff was actually really helpful to figure out why we were bullshitting everybody and how to kind of tie it up together. But yeah, I don't think you can do that if you're just making the game for like 2 years or 3. Like it's just that's the reason.
Yeah, I think that is really striking. Is both this sort of like fake, neat narrative that maybe would be more expected of like, oh, we can just encapsulate what the message of this game is, and then some sort of like, well, actual truth kind of like ruptured its way out. Is sort of what it feels like in both games. I think it's quite striking, and I've noticed that like I think maybe and especially in reviews of Jenny's game, there are people who are like, I had the same experience as Jenny, where this kind of eating just sort of left my life, like dieting culture left my life. And then this particular reviewer who I'm thinking of, who I can't remember who it is, which is good, was like, but I wasn't satisfied by seeing that in the game. I wanted like a more neat, like, tell me how my life should have happened. ending. I was like, wow, it's that's almost also sort of like weirdly uncomfortable. Like people are uncomfortable with just the way things actually happen. I don't know, should we spoil the ending of Baby Steps in the same way?
It's not really relevant.
Well, no, but maybe it is. There's also this uncomfortable truth that sort of you get towards the end of Baby Steps, right?
Yeah.
And then you're climbing up this train. Yeah. And then your dad, played by Game Center's founding chair Frank Lance, calls you, and he's like, "How's your grip strength? You're climbing up a train," and then your character's like, "Oh, I'm just using my feet," and then you realize, oh, your dad's like climbing with his hands because it's actually your dad is Nathan Drake from Uncharted.
I can't confirm nor deny anything about that. I know what you're talking about.
And you're Nathan Drake Jr. who goes by the DJ name Nathan Bake.
His DJ name is Nathan Bake.
Nathan Bake.
Can't confirm that.
Yeah, that's in the game. You can't. Yeah. So Nathan Bake, DJ name. Yeah, only climbs with his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas Nathan Drake in the unrelated, legally distinct game Uncharted.
Thank you.
Mostly climbs with his hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's.
So there's another like uncomfortable.
It's an uncomfortable truth
about
Are
your
you saying
parents
that?
and your family.
An uncomfortable truth?
Well, I don't know. That's yeah. What about? Is this about the parentage? Are you getting something about the parentage of the game?
That's not actually the ending of the game. That's just a scene that happens toward the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe reality is breaking forth through in a similar way, but I don't totally buy
Okay,
it.
it's not autobiographical. Not something about your lives, lives of the teams. No.
To the extent that there is an autobiographical dad thing in there.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, right before we started making the game, I had a very interesting masculinity hike with my father.
To say more.
My father lives on a farm-like object with 30 to 40 cats and raccoons.
Is your dad? Did he run for mayor recently?
Who has 30 to 40 cats?
Curtis Sliwa has 30 40.
Zoran has a normal number of cats? Okay, good. No. But he has this big, property full of industrial equipment that he buys on eBay. And we hiked up a swale. You know what a swale is?
I can sort of picture it in my mind. It's something that's looks like it looks like a hill should not be that shape, but because somebody made it that shape.
No, it's where two hills meet.
Right.
It's the butt crack of the hill.
Yeah, and then you're sort of stuck in the crack.
Yeah, and it was way too steep, and we were falling down, but neither of us can say, because of masculinity, that we shouldn't climb the swale. So we're stuck, climbing this unclimbable swale for a really long time. Anyway, then we made baby steps.
Right, and so then even when I don't want to be making this tutorial, Bennett Foddy shows up. And this is tries to give you help. You're like, no, you can't.
Yeah, no, I don't need a map.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense. It's a lot of uncomfortable eruption of truth.
I think also there's something about, I don't know. I co-work a lot with you and Bennett, and throughout the years of making the game, and there's for me, co-working with you guys is it's just a bunch of cutscenes for free, because this is exactly your dynamic. And I think ultimately, the game is about this kind of exploration of that dynamic with how Nate, and all of these other characters, how he relates to that. And I think it does come to a sort of conclusion at the end. And actually, the cutscene where that's a super long one, if you skip all the other cutscenes, that kind of just breaks down, and all of a sudden you're not in character anymore.
Fuck! The true ending.
That's the true ending.
Oh wow, yeah, that's the where you're just sort of not in character anymore.
Yeah, it does connect.
Well, let's. Speaking of, they call that breaking also when you just can't stay in character anymore. Speaking of which, let's roll the third baby steps clip.
The third one. Oh God. It's not going to be edited well.
G'day.
Hey,
it's okay.
How's it? How's your day?
It's hot as an oven out here. It's enough to make a man want an ice cream.
Yeah, we're all having a hot one today. Just men sweating. Wow.
Well, if you're under 15, I can give you an ice cream for free.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Coming right up.
Do you have matcha?
Nope.
Oh.
Here you go.
Oh, that one. Thanks. That one, though. This one. This just seems to be ice.
I don't understand.
Well, you've given me ice, not ice cream.
What's your problem with it?
Give us a critique.
It seems to be frozen water.
That's ice.
Cream, though, is different.
It's the cream of the ice.
Oh,
Try and savor it.
okay. Hey,
Yeah, you can't get enough of these.
Skip.
Yeah, go to like
Thanks.
3/4 of the way through, Logan.
Aha!
No, further. Go near the
I've
end.
tried so many times. I've been trying so hard. Be a little earlier. A little. You'll never see me again. Pomegranate, you'll never see me again.
There's an uncomfortable eruption.
I know. I said you'd never see me again, but I just.
Is that Bennett laughing?
Felt it. There was nothing I could do. I've been trying so hard. Do you have any more?
Yep. Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, that's enough of that. I've watched, I think, all of these cup scenes at this point, and I skipped all of them too. But,
Yeah, good.
yeah. And yeah, I think Bennett cracks up more than you do. So
Yeah. No, I'm very professional.
yeah, like super professional. Not as professional as Frank though.
Yeah, no, Frank is a real actor.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, he's in a old movie where he plays like somebody who kills people with a razor. Do you ever see that?
Talking about redneck zombies.
Yeah, Redneck Zombies. Look it up. Okay. Let's move on to another real question.
Okay.
I want to know about like the very beginning. We touched on this a little bit. What was the moment, if you think back, where you were like started to make this game? Where you're like, okay, I'm making this thing. Like, what was the seedling of it? I want to hear about that.
Hot on that swale.
Oh,
Sweating.
so the swale, right?
Yeah, definitely a swale.
But then when did it become a video game?
Oh, I don't know. That was later. No, roll the clip.
Oh, is there a clip?
I don't know.
Wait, before that, I heard a story that you were like, oh, I bet I could make a 3D. We can make a 3D getting over it, and Bennett was like, no.
Probably a 3D quap.
3D quap.
Make more sense in the story.
Yeah, it would make more sense.
No, that's good.
Okay, yeah.
Bennett was like, no, there's no way.
No way.
No way. There's no chance in hell you could do that. And then I was like, no, I can.
Yeah, so it was real masculine. Yeah,
Seriously?
you're right. It was like the Matrix, like just.
Yeah.
Yeah, like roll that the earliest clip.
Are you going to post it publicly?
No, not publicly. Just Slack.
Anyway, then we got it working pretty quick. This is 2 months in. This is Julián playing for the first time. It would look
Really
better
good.
if we turned off the colors. Also, we put ones in. It's hard to make a 3D game, it turns out. What would happen if we just put it in?
It wouldn't look good.
Anyway, you get the gist of it.
It's not going to be public.
Oh, there's a good Ben saying like, oh, it's not going to be public. No, it's public. Yeah. All right, so that was kind of the origin, just the when you got the falling down working, right? Yes, it's clearly working. Julián, do you remember the moment when you're like, it became what it was gonna turn into?
Well, I had to make a capstone.
Yeah, yeah, many such cases. Yeah. Okay.
And I didn't know what to do. But I did think about it a little bit in the summer before. And I think actually it was the World Cup of 2018. And I was thinking a lot about soccer. And that's when I had all this like, oh, I've been, I've had all this distance from soccer and stuff. But I just really wanted to make like the interaction of like kicking a ball in first person. And that's where I started, but I really had no idea.
Roll the clip.
Roll the clip. But I had no idea, but not that one. I think it's before. The one that says very early build? No, earlier than that. Early, before. Yeah, this one. I think this is like a month into Capstone, which is like, yeah, the game was just like you kick the ball. And this is when I was like, oh yeah, the universal language of soccer. But I think, I don't know, it really, I feel like we did a really, I was working with an artist who was like somebody I know from back from Ecuador. and he had like a very clear like visual direction, and I think that helped a lot to like kind of define the kind of vibe of the game at first, which turns out is really important because if people like the vibe, then people want to
Give you money.
give you money.
What was this put on the way? This one is sort of like not quite to the vibe.
Yeah, this is kind of not quite. This we were experimenting with like looks and like kind of colors and the illustration. That's just like the artist, like Sebastian's style. So that was there from the beginning. But we were experimenting with like the billboarding of the characters and trying to play with like them being in third person, or not third person, like 3D world. But yeah, then after like we got into Incubator after I finished the capstone, and I think then we really were like kind of defining this. But then we were really kind of struggling with like, okay, well, what is this game about? And like we're like, okay, well, we know Ecuador, and this is all comes from this idea of playing soccer in Ecuador, so we kind of have to set it there. But it really, I don't know, I think that's the thing that took the longest, was just figuring out what the kind of final game was. And I think Gabe, so Gabe's role in the game, which we haven't explained yet, but I called him the therapist of the project, because basically we met with him like once a week, and we told him about all of our problems, and then he told us, kind of guided us in the direction. So I think Gabe really like picked up on like, oh yeah, there's a vibe here, but there's not really a game here. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, what do I do? Help me solve it. And I think, yeah, that took like years. It was a long process, but we were lucky that the vibes were really selling people, so we were getting funding on it, and we were able to work on it.
And even from this video, which I remember, it was, I think this was your capstone build that was also you applied to the incubator with. It's still very recognizable as the same game, right? Unlike the earlier.
I think, yeah, like that's like the core ideas are there, but I think, for example, yeah, there was no dialogue, there was no kind of story, it was just kind of more like an open.
It was like a sandbox at that point.
It was kind of like a sandbox, but it was very empty, and there wasn't much to do, and there was like no kind of it was just like a lot of elements put in the flat plane.
Right.
And no real design around it.
It's like a vignette of something, right, maybe.
Yeah, I guess so.
Nice. All right, then, yeah, Jenny and AP, and like, yeah, the origin story of Consume Me.
I guess, did you all like take Games 101? That's like a requirement, right? Like raise your hand if you've taken that class. Every hand should be up, right? What?
There's people here who are not from the Game Center.
Okay. Well, Games 101 is basically like an art history class, but for video games. And they, each week, there's like a lecture on like a specific genre. And I remember the final week, it was on indie games. And I think in that indie game lecture, we had to play Papers, Please. I might be misremembering it. Is that right?
Wait, who gave the indie games lecture? Do you remember?
No, but Laura.
It was Bennett.
Oh, Bennett?
That wasn't you?
Before.
You took it the same year as me, Jenny.
Was it Bennett? I
yeah.
don't remember.
Okay.
No,
it was
Maxie wasn't
Maxie
here.
was not there yet. This was 2013.
Yeah, it was
Wait,
before Maxie.
was there Papers, Please in that lecture?
I think it was you. Yeah, so yeah.
But anyway, I played that game, and if you haven't played that game, you should go play it. But it's basically like you're a border patrol officer, and you get to decide who to let in to the country by like looking at their documents and stamping like yes, let them in. And I was like, wow, like I can't believe that someone made a game about that. Like games are essentially rules, you know? And I was thinking about these like diary entries that I wrote, and you know, like if you don't know what Consume Me is about, I go into I guess when I was in high school, I like struggled with some disordered eating, so I would like count calories and I'd write that all down in my journals, and I'd like weigh myself every day, and I had like these journals of like this documentation, and I was like, oh, like you could make a game about this too. And I feel like that planted the idea of Consume Me like very early on, but there are other games that have totally inspired Consume Me, like a lot of Nina Freeman's work. I don't know if you were familiar with her semi-autobiographical personal games, and Anna Anthropy's Triad. I think I like stole that for Food Tetris, and I feel like I don't remember what the question was.
Just the origins. Like, so you were making a bunch of prototypes?
Yeah, and I guess like at some point I had to take prototype a week, where you had to make one prototype every week. Then it was teaching it, and I just wanted to explore this idea of like me in high school struggling with like this dieting. And then it became overscoped, and then I spent 10 years of my life working on it, and I don't recommend any of you doing that.
That's kind of interesting. That well, do you think it's not recommendable?
I don't recommend.
Because,
I mean, it's your life. Like, if you want to spend 10 years, go for it. Like, I don't know.
This is the thing. I was talking to Julián about this last night because I was thinking about the origins of my work on despelote, and I was coming to that after APE OUT, which took a measly 5 years and change. And I felt like that was like, oh God, such a terrible experience, like having that drag on for so long after graduating and feeling kind of so over it by the end. And I wanted to help him not do that. And I don't feel like I succeeded at all. I feel like he just did it too. And I kind of was there and being like, yeah, oh man, it sucks the whole time, which probably made it a little easier, but it didn't prevent it. And I guess I was thinking about if I had a second chance to mentor someone else, or if he had another chance, or if you had a chance to try to help someone with a terrible albatross project that they're continuing to work on after graduating. I don't know. How do you think about that now?
You describing how I joined Consume Me right now?
I think it's probably similar. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Jenny had been working on it for like a couple of years at that point, and around 2017, I was kind of informally acting as your producer.
Oh, I can explain.
Oh, yeah.
Should I explain?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so anyway, like while I was making this game, I was also posting a lot to Twitter. And Twitter was like where you would post all your funny GIFs of your game development. And it got like a lot of traction. And I got invited to showcase Consume Me.
This is a year after what I was going to talk about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was talking about the year before that.
Okay, well, if you want to do it chronologically, take over.
I was just going to say that there was the year of me kind of informally acting as Jenny's producer, and a lot of that was trying to convince Jenny to make a systems prototype, which kind of combined all the mini games, or it would eventually combine all the mini games.
Yeah.
And you really didn't want to do that, and then you complained about it a lot, and then maybe about a year later, we get to what you were talking about.
Yeah, so I guess like I had a handful of these mini games by the time I graduated the Game Center. And I was asking like a bunch of people, what should I do with this? You know, like I have a bigger idea. I have a more ambitious idea. And like a lot of the sound advice that I got was just release it as a mini game collection. But I didn't want to do that. You know, I wanted to make it into a real game, not just a collection of like, 5-minute prototypes. And we were, both AP and I were adjuncting at the Game Center. So we'd like work on our games and, personal projects when we weren't teaching. And I remember asking AP, like, what do you think I should work on next? Another mini game? And AP's like, no, you should probably prototype like the shell, like that would encapsulate all the mini games, which means, something that looks like an Excel spreadsheet or just something with numbers and text. And I really didn't want to do that. I just wanted to draw more funny faces. You know what I mean? I don't know if you feel that way. You like when you make a game, you kind of want to do the thing that you're good at. But maybe one of the biggest things I learned about working on such a big project is if you're like working with such a small team, you have to do a lot of the stuff you don't want to do, because you either don't have money to like hire people, or like there's no one else who can do that work.
But so do you wish you had released it as a minigame collection now? Like if you went back
I'm so glad I made my mistakes and like suffered the 10 years.
Right.
Like I learned so much.
So, but do you think it was unavoidable? Like, do you think there was nothing anyone could have said?
I think I could have worked harder. I think okay, so this is a thing. This is the
That's
thing
right.
that
Says Jenny's mom from somewhere.
I warn all of you. I warn all of you. Do not expect your indie game to make money. Okay? I was under the impression that Consume Me would make a whole bunch of money. So I was just like, la la la, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm gonna have another hobby. And just kind of I mean, I don't completely regret that, but now I I'm thinking back on past Jenny, and I'm like, what the hell? Stop doing this. Now I'm suffering. I'm paying for that.
So you wish you hadn't had work-life balance.
Yeah, exactly.
You wish you had crunched it out.
A little. I wish I had more. I wish I was a little harder on myself.
A little more work in the work-life balance is what you're suggesting.
Okay, well, this is interesting. Because I actually think... because, first of all, I told Julián plenty of times, hey, what if you worked harder? But...
I always worked so hard. I was never late. Sent the bills in every day.
I have so much evidence that I've collected. Anyway, but it's also something that, so the development of APE OUT is kind of similar to the arc of the development of despelote, where I was super hard on myself the whole time, and that resulted in a year or two of procrastination and about a year of crunching, all of which were miserable. And same thing happened to despelote, I would say.
Yes.
And I guess that seems like that's the version of the experiment where you're just like, oh, work harder. Where it's like, oh, you don't work for a long time because you don't know what to do and you're burned out and you're depressed and, you got romantic problems, among other things. Life things happen that are very distracting and you don't have to go to work, it's just you. So if you're sad, then what's going to happen? You're going to just be sad that day. You're not going to go to work. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. But I don't think we ever had to crunch on Consume Me. We were never in this situation where it's do whatever you want and then crunch for a year. I think we were lucky enough to never experience that, but I think I totally experienced that burnout while we were working on Consume Me, and that's why I'm not sick of posting about the game every day,
Because it was a healthier number of hours by the end. You would you weren't crunching.
It was always healthy. It was a little too healthy.
Oh, too healthy.
Yeah.
It took 10 years.
I think
10 years is healthy as.
I remember talking to you a few years ago, and we were talking about our schedules, kind of how much we work on the game, and I was very surprised by your answer of oh yeah, these are the hours, and we.
What did I say?
I think you were saying that then you take a week off every 2 weeks on it or something like that. But it sounded really good. I was like, oh my god, I need to do that and this would make me make the game faster in a way, because what I was doing was I was just sitting behind the computer, looking at Unity and not being able to produce any work for weeks, and just that was horrible. Because I was just, I was putting in the hours, but I wasn't actually doing anything. And then actually taking more time off helped me do it more, except at the end where I just had to do a lot.
Okay, it wasn't a 1 week of break and then 2 weeks of work. It wasn't that. It was 4 weeks of work and 1 week of break. Okay, just to clarify.
How many hours a week?
It was 20. It was 4 hours a day.
That
Probably
was ostensibly
less.
what it was supposed to be, but there were a lot of meetings where I was like, hey, Jenny, did you do your 4 hours today? And the answer was
no.
not yes. Yeah.
It doesn't sound that different, these two development cycles.
I don't know how you can avoid them.
But I don't know. What are you supposed to do? I mean, it's miserable. I don't know. But it seems like you weren't as miserable, at least, at the time.
No, I don't think
now
I was
you're
miserable. I'm not actually miserable. I'm a little miserable.
It seems better. It seems preferable.
Yeah, it's not
but also,
bad.
it did take a long time.
It did, yeah, yeah. But we didn't run out of money, and that was the thing we wanted to make sure we did.
Right.
We had funding from Alumni, and we paid ourselves a really small amount every month. And just as long as that amount didn't run out, we told ourselves it was fine, and that never happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Baby Steps was pretty healthy also. Thank God. Jesus Christ. I can't do that again.
And that was what? That was three years? No.
Oh, no.
5 years?
The
5
cool
years.
5.
5 years. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
5 years. Yeah, yeah.
No,
Oh, that's right. Bennett actually says it was 5 years in the game. I
Yeah,
think.
no, it's in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But we had pretty good. We did just 40 hours a week, normal.
Yeah, the normal amount.
Just yeah.
Yeah, I know this is like not an uncommon story. This sort of like, oh, horrible, I have this big game idea, and it's like the first game I'm working on by myself or like in a small team, and it just takes forever. I actually just heard the story from Ben Esposito. Said the same thing about Donut County, and then what's the speedrunning one? Neon White.
Yeah.
So he's like compared the two. He's like Donut County just like took him forever. And it was just horrible and painful, and he couldn't like figure out how to like restrain it, and like put too much stuff into it. Got like really frustrated, and then he was like, okay. And he was basically like, I can never look at that game again. Like he's just so frustrated with
Yeah,
it.
that's how I feel about APE OUT.
Yeah. Oh, you just never want to look at it again.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Neon White, he's like, and then this time I was just like, I'm not doing any of that stuff again. I'm just gonna like just make this game, and I'm not even gonna try to make it good.
Games were better.
Yeah, I don't know. Donut County is really charming, but it's like he discovered he made the perfect game for 4-year-olds, which is true. It's like my own.
Sounds insulting.
No, it is. If you have a 4-year-old, try it. It's like the perfect game for 4-year-olds.
Okay.
Yeah. But so there's something there. There's a pattern there for sure. So it's not anything about any of you in particular. But you guys can look forward like Julio, and you look forward to the next game. It's only gonna be 5 years.
Yeah. I think also the fact that it's like, at least for me, I was thinking of it like this is my first game that I'm doing, commercially, and like this is a kind of my presentation towards the world. So this, basically everything that people would think about this game is just me. That's how they think of me. And it was really hard to detach myself, like my identity, even unrelated to the like autobiographical aspect of the game, just like the fact that it was like, oh, this is my game that I'm putting out. And I was like so stubborn to be like, okay, well, this has to be great, and this is my life, and this is, and I think there's something really nice about that kind of ambition, but I think I felt really in the end really chained by that, and like really like I couldn't escape it. And now, obviously, well, I guess I've had this kind of reference of baby steps and co-working with Gabe and Bennett and seeing it be made in a more, like they were not having the struggles I was having when I was like going into work. And obviously I hope that my next project can be more healthy and less about my identity in that way.
Yeah, I want to add something to that because I think I totally understand what you mean. Like, your game is your identity. And I think this is like maybe a common thing once you're like done with school and you're making this like huge autobiographical game about your life and like all you see yourself is like a game developer. You think like it's like a dream to like get money to make that project. But what you'll realize is that it is a job. It stops being a passion that you want to do and you're excited to do, and it feels like, the thing you're born to do, right? I feel like whoever's studying video games, you probably feel like, oh, I'm like, this is like what I'm called to do or whatever. But like when you work on a game for this long, you realize it's like a job, and sometimes you don't even want to show up to it, and you sometimes just have to treat it like, yeah, I'm just going to clock in and clock out and just like do those hours, and I feel like that's something that I would never have realized without working on something for so long.
Yeah, I think it takes a while to like really understand that, especially after getting like funding for your project, and you're like, oh yeah, like this is my like full-time job. It's like I'm working on my own thing, and then I had the same experience.
Yeah, dream game quickly becomes reality nightmare. You know.
I mean, yeah. I guess I have that. I have all those feelings about APE OUT, of course, but I don't know. I mean, I also wouldn't change it. Like, it's recommendable. Like, it is a super privileged position, and it is. At the end of the day, what I want to be doing, and I'm glad that I suffered.
No, I agree. I was telling people, I'm like, yeah, if Consume Me makes no money, I will have like 2 PhDs worth of like making this game, and that's so valuable. Like, I learned so many lessons, right? But I'm still salty about it not making that much, so I don't know.
Yeah. So let's talk about the dark struggles, or specifically, let's get into the details of game development. What's something that something cursed that you did as part of the development of the games that are up here? We could talk about earlier games too, but I wanted to specifically, I think about these games, like something that's in the code or the way something works. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about like in Fallout 3 when the train is actually an NPC wearing a hat that looks like a giant train, and he runs around the whole map really fast. Like that kind of thing. Is there anything like that in your game? Whoever thinks of something first.
Yeah, I got a couple of these.
Oh yeah, AP's got them.
So one, which is it's visible the whole time you're playing Consume Me. Does anyone want to guess what Consume Me's aspect ratio is?
16:9.
Yeah, that's a reasonable guess. Most games have that, but not quite.
4:3.
No, it's not 4:3. These are all reasonable guesses, but the answer is probably something like 16 by 9.03. I don't know. It's a really weird, because what it actually is it is 3 portrait mode phones stacked next to each other, which is not quite 16:9 and is not quite 16:10. And the reason it's like that is because Consume Me was originally a portrait mode mobile game only. And then at some point, multiple years into development, we had like some potential funding coming in from consoles, and we were like, okay, well, if it's going to be on consoles, I guess it has to be in landscape. What's the easiest way to get this game into landscape? I guess we can just stack 3 screens next to each other. That's kind of landscape. All right, let's do that. So
it's like the proverbial like 3. Yeah, it's 3 games in a trench coat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And is this why sometimes when there's like a cutscene, like it slides up in 3 sections?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Those
Wow.
each of those sections is a single iPhone screen, and any of the panels that are larger, they're like a double panel or a triple panel. They are all designed so that like the center of it has everything you need to see, so it fits like perfectly in portrait mode. And it's not even out on mobile yet, so
But stay tuned.
And wait, do you think you're going to be using this like portrait mode structure for the mobile version? Is going to work based on that?
It's completely functional in portrait mode and has been for its entire development. Landscape mode was like the new jazz.
Wow.
Basically.
Okay, I asked for something cursed, not like, oh, I'm so clever. It's just going to automatically, work in portrait mode on phones. I guess that's okay, AP.
A non-standard aspect ratio is pretty cursed.
Yeah, that's pretty cursed for now. Yeah.
I was gonna say the example you brought up actually feels very smart also with the Fallout.
Okay. You're also very smart. Yeah, great.
Because it's like, I don't know, for me, like the cursed stuff in despelote, like it's so cursed. That project, like the code in there, some of it is like 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to program well back then. You don't have to agree so much. And
about the dictionary with the never mind.
I don't even remember. There's just so much of it, and then actually, like at the end of the game, part of my struggle when like I was just trying to get everything to work was just that it was built on this like very bad foundation, and I really should have just like rebuilt it like once I knew the game, and it would have taken no time. But I didn't want to do that. I don't know why. And then even now, like we're working on the Switch port, and that's been a nightmare. Because I've had to rewrite all these things. I had to rewrite all of like the physics in the game and to run at like 20 hertz instead of 60 hertz, and that's like been the most horrible. That was cursed to do that, I think.
But what was the smart part?
Nothing about it.
Oh no, there's no smart part. Okay, yeah. And what about
the hat thing? The hat thing is smart.
Oh, the hat thing is smart. It's like sort of cursed when you see it, but then you're like, oh, wow, that's like actually really cool, a weird, cool solution. And that's kind of like a video gamey thing, right? That like doing things in a weird way as a shortcut. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess the things that I think of as cursed are actually super smart.
Okay, yeah, so tell us about...
I think of the dreams. I don't know if you know about the dreams.
Yeah, so you're talking about if you wear a hat and then you go to like one of these like, I don't know, Dark Souls-y save point things, where it's like a bonfire or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you go
fires.
You go to sleep. Oh, campfires, because it's a hiking game.
It's a hiking game.
Then you go to sleep and you play a little 8-bit game that's like a memory from the main character's life or something.
It's like a little bitsy game.
Yeah.
But for that, I like made a little bitsy framework that then we never changed. And
so you implemented Bitsy inside of...
Yeah. But that's easy. But the big rule was that we never changed it. So Bennett did all sorts of horrible curse stuff to implement some of the art. Like there's a first-person dream where you're walking through a maze in first person.
Oh yeah, it's like a wizardry style game. Yeah.
But actually, your character's invisible, walking through an invisible maze that's teleporting you between rooms whose background is the different scenes of the hallway.
Yeah. I think actually there's some like tile-sized glitches that sort of like clue you into stuff like that in some of those games.
But that's how you make a game without bugs.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And there's like weird rapping stuff that you guys are doing in Baby Steps too, right? Like
we don't rap.
You don't rap? Like what? Yeah. What's going on?
What do you mean rapping? We don't rap. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, never mind. I didn't forget I mentioned any of that.
Are we rapping?
What's going on with that? There's like a well that you can fall into, and then you like fall out of the sky.
Oh, rapping.
Yeah, rapping.
We were rapping.
Not rapping.
Okay, I was so confused.
Yeah, you heard it here first. There's a secret cutscene where Bennett and Gabe have a rap duel.
Yeah, no, that's very hidden. No, the rapping, that was just a nightmare. Normal programming nightmare.
Programming nightmare. The world raps. Some people debating, like, what is the shape of the Baby Steps world? And it seems to be like a torus or something, right?
Yeah, I think it's a torus.
A toroidal world.
Because it doesn't really, it's like, it loops in X and ZY and Y. I don't know.
All 3 dimensions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that last one was not necessary.
Yeah.
The one where you're going up and down.
Yeah, but it's fun when you fall through the world to come out the sky.
So that's cursed, I think. It's like we can call that cursed. It's like you just did it gratuitously.
It was gratuitous, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, next question. Launching. Let's talk about launching the game. 2025 has turned out to be a really weird year to have a game come out because there's so many games. I think Expedition 33 was this year. Yeah, and then also Silk Song is this year. And some release dates are like changed and all sorts of things. But we happen to have here somewhere in the audience the chair of the Independent Games Festival, who mentioned to me not long ago that like the number of games submitted to the IGF this year is like twice the number from last year. So like, the question is, like what is going on in 2025, and like what has it been like to like put a game out there into this kind of like suddenly like a teeming crowd of stuff? We talk about that experience. I'm gonna call on Jenny and AP first.
I need more time to think.
Okay, Julián, you're first then.
Well, it's my first time, so maybe to me it's just normal. But I think, so with the publisher, with Panic, there was definitely a lot of like, okay, you can release at this time, but try not to release, like, they're basically like, try not to release after September, which I think both of you did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we got, we ended up needing the time, but originally we were like pushed back because we were not going to make September of last year. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, releasing a game, like, how can I? Why do we know just what you know? Like, it's a mess out there.
Yeah, you know what it's like being in the middle of it. I'm like sitting over here, being like, oh, what's happening down there?
Yeah, but it's like you never know why people play or don't play your game or anything. It's just you're just kind of trying. You're just shouting into the noise, hoping people notice. And sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. And how can you possibly know if that's because they're all playing Silk Song? Maybe.
You guys are also working with a publisher though, at Devolver.
Yeah. No, they don't do. That means we don't have to. We know even less.
Right, but do they say anything to you about it? Like, it's 2025. Temper your expectations.
The way publishers work is that they hire PR firms really, on top. So like they're even outsourcing it to an extent. Like they have in-house PR stuff that's happening, but also they're just hiring a bunch of people who hope that
those people don't know what's going on.
Right, exactly. I mean, I think they've done a good job and they have contacts and blah, 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 but who knows? Who knows? Somebody must know, but it's certainly not us.
Any thoughts from the Consume Me team? You guys do not. You guys are totally self-published, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You hired a PR firm, though, right?
We work
Yeah.
with Pop Agenda.
Same as despelote.
Cut out the middleman.
Oh, you
Yeah.
you work with them
Publisher,
too.
Yeah, I worked with
So I guess like what was the timeline? It was like the first huge game that launched. Was it Hades 2? No, it was
no.
Silk Song,
Well,
and
it's
then
like
Hades 2
Silksong
got
kind of
pushed
surprised
back.
announced its release date 2 weeks before, and it was like at the beginning of September, and we had been planning to launch at the end of September for a while, and we were like, is this too close? I don't know. It seems fine. But then a bunch of other games moved their release date from early
Including
September.
Baby Steps.
Yeah, including Baby Steps.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
directly to late September, so right where we were sitting.
We asked the publisher for just your date exactly. And
Yeah. Actually, I think you came. Did you come out a day before us or a day after?
Like 2 days.
It was
or
a day before, I
something.
think.
A day
okay.
before.
Well, you also surprise launched a day
Yeah,
early.
we
Oh, that's
surprise
true.
launched.
Yeah.
Get closer to Baby Steps, the glow of the
Yeah,
Baby
we just
Steps.
we wanted to step to the challenge. Yeah, and so I guess then Hades 2 also announced that they were coming out of early access a couple weeks before they launched, and that happened to be 2 weeks before our planned release date. And we were like, uh-oh, maybe we should move? I'm not sure.
There's also Slime Rancher 2. There were a couple.
Yeah,
there were
yeah.
like a million things
Yep.
that were all big.
And it was like what we saw when everyone moved to get out of the way of Silksong, there were a few people who didn't move, and they were like, actually, we got great visibility because everyone else left. Like, because of Silksong, we were like, oh, maybe we should like not move then, now that Hades 2 has like announced for this exact window. And everyone else made the exact same decision. So it's like a real prisoner's dilemma, which we didn't.
It's like I think that's actually like a
actually,
lane
yeah.
changing problem, right? You're on the highway and like, oh, which lane are you going to pick? Like people have studied that one.
But I guess, like, despite all of that, like, despite launching amidst, like, all this noise, I feel like it's still worthwhile to promote the game because, I mean, we are, like, self-promoting, you know, and, you know, isn't the best time to talk about the game, like, is when it's out and people can go and buy it, you know? I feel like I see... Like from my personal experience and from like releasing previous stuff, it's like once the game is released, it's like you don't want to look at it anymore. You just like forget about it and like work on the next thing. But I guess like the thing I kind of want to try with Consume Me is like, why not continue yelling about it and, you know, spreading that because it exists, you know, and who else is going to talk about it if not like yourself?
Let's roll the Delulu clip.
Oh my God, no, I have to pick the one. I have to pick the Thank you. So, like, I think the day after we launched, I came up with this idea because this first part of the TikTok went kind of viral. Oh, there's no sound, but it's okay. I guess it's all right. Hello, welcome to my new series where I post one video a day until this video game has sold 1 million copies.
Day one.
Anyway, I like decided to start this daily post. This is like I think the second day. Day 2 of posting one video a day until my game sells 1 million copies. Yeah, so like I would just, okay, so I did this because it took me 5 minutes to do, you know, and I don't know if like any of you go viral on like TikTok these days, but it's changed a lot since like we were promoting Consume Me back in the day when like Twitter was really popular. Like now, the algorithm wants you to like post as much as possible. So like the optimal way to post about stuff is like to post very frequently and like douse out like little bits of information. And I know people started getting really mad at me on Instagram. There are probably some haters in the audience right now. Like I would not be surprised, okay? So I would like make these posts every day because it just take me 5 minutes to make, you know? And people are like, oh, you don't even show the game. Like, what is the game even about? But I like amassed like 20,000 followers on Instagram. So it's like the consistency did yield like people paying attention. Like people are like, oh, you keep showing up on my feed. Like, what is this game? And then one day, Okay, so let me preface this. AP and I had the Zoom call where he's like, if you're not working on the next project, like, are you even going to be making games anymore? It was like something along the lines of that. Do you want to clarify?
What?
I ended up feeling like so hopeless and sad, like after having the Zoom call of like, wow, my indie game that I spent 10 years on is like making no money, and now I have to think about working on the next game while like promoting this current game. So I was like in tears and crying, and so I decided to like open up the camera. And day 26 of posting every day until my video game Consume Me sells 1 million copies. Okay, and this pissed so many people off. They were like, why the hell are you guilt tripping me to buy your game? And really, that was not my intention. I just wanted to like let out my emotions and just document this moment because I just thought it would be cool to look back on this when I do sell 1 million copies of this video game. You know? But, okay, so here's like a really good tip for everyone in the audience if you want your video game to go viral. You should cry in your TikToks because the algorithm can tell when tears are coming down your face and they will send it out to people. And I swear to God, like those videos where I cry, those consistently go viral. Whereas the videos that I like share that are like actually interesting information about the game, 1,000 views, like 40 likes. So yeah, that's my most important tip for, marketing your indie game by yourself. I don't know, that was like a long tangent.
How do you feel like that campaign is? So it's obviously making it go viral. Are you guys tracking like stats, like how many people come from Instagram? Like,
is it making it sell?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not making a dent on sales. Not at all.
No one's buying the game.
It's what they're called, like raising awareness of your game. Yeah.
We're so poor. But now my Instagram videos, they're like full of comments, people complaining like, why do you show more gameplay? So I actually started doing that. Like there were like 8 people who left kind of mean comments on one video. And then I was like, okay, maybe I do need to step it up. Like maybe I need to make an Instagram, like, TikTok where I actually do explain the game and give some more like interesting tidbits. And then I tagged all 8 people, and then and that one actually went viral too. Like it kind of went semi-viral, and that was really good. Like actually responding to your haters and doing what they tell you to do. Like I recommend doing that. Like I wasn't expecting that, but it turned out to be pretty good.
Did they buy the game then?
What?
Did they buy the game?
Yeah, we made 8 sales that day.
8 sales, yeah.
Good.
Just one at a time, changing hearts and minds one at a time. All right, I'm going to do a couple more questions before we sort of open it up to the audience. Yeah, let's see, which one of these am I going to pick? Yeah, was there anything when you look back on the journey of making the game that you feel like was the low point? Like the most trying part, the part where you were like, I'm not sure this game is ever going to be finished. Like I feel like so many projects, especially long ones, there's always a time when you're like, should this just all just go into the garbage? And yeah, like what was that like? Was there something that happened that made it feel that way, or yeah, some aspect of the game that was just thoroughly exhausting you? This is the hardest question. I'm going to bring it back up. But Gabe, you want to go first?
Oh, I liked it. It was okay.
It was all fine?
No, there were bad times, probably. But I mean, the actual work itself, I was interested in the ideas the whole time, and it felt like it was a good vessel for creativity that kept me like engaged the whole time. And the fact that we were doing like acting and doing level design, and I was doing cinematography and programming all in the same day, that is great. And then also having somebody else who you're working with, who you're constantly kind of able to be in the same boat as and bounce ideas off of. That all helps a lot. But the last year was a little bit, oh no, we can't add much that's interesting anymore, and it's polishing forever. At the end, when you're just doing like level design polish and you're like deleting the grass and then you're adding some more little rocks. And then we're listening to like BBC radio dramas from the 50s while we're just placing these rocks for just months. Just months of like, oh, you know, that doesn't have enough little rocks. It looks a little bare there. So then you add a couple little rocks.
Next, this would be like, why did we make this an open world game? Kind of.
Yeah, that was probably the lowest.
Yeah, but then that was also sort of had an endpoint where, because if you get completely burnt out on that, then you just stop doing it, right?
Yeah. It doesn't all, not every rock must be placed.
Right.
But they mostly are.
Yeah, and then you're like, you know, this level should just all be sand. Fuck it. That was actually totally different before, right? It was not sand.
Yeah. No, we just nuked that whole area.
Just change it all to sand.
People are going to love the sand, we thought.
Yeah, people love that section. That's their favorite section. What do you think, Julián?
Well, we were kind of talking about this earlier, but I mean, for me, really, like the midpoint of I didn't know what the game was, and like I knew what it was again, like in terms of like the vibe and like the kind of general concept of it, but actually turning it into like a finished product, like I think until like maybe like 4 months before release, I was still like, this is never gonna come out. Like I couldn't like shake that feeling, and it's not a thing where I was like, well, I'm gonna like move on to something else eventually. It was just like, this is gonna be my life forever, working on this video game.
You're like never gonna leave that place.
Yeah, that's how it felt like. And
you also couldn't quit. You couldn't quit. You would just be there forever.
I couldn't quit. I was like, I mean, I was so invested in it. Like I cared about it. Also, we had so much support. Like I had so much support. We had like funding. We had like all these people that were really interested in it. Everybody liked it when we showed it to people. So then I was like, well, I have to think this is a good thing. I guess I wasn't doubting the actual game itself, just like how to
get to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you had the weight of people's support and expectations.
At that point, then becomes like a weight, which sucks because obviously it isn't the weight. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard to be in that mind space, and I think it really, like right now, I truly feel a weight lifted off my shoulders, like after finishing it. And there's still like a few little things we have to do with like the switch port and all this stuff that is, you know, just wrapping up the game, but it really feels like I can do more stuff and I can think about other stuff finally for like the first time in a long time.
A thing that I remember feeling at the end of APE OUT that we talked about didn't stick really because there was no avoiding it, but there's this feeling that like once you develop this guilt-based relationship with your game, it's really hard. Like once you start feeling like, oh no, I should. I like feel so bad.
I was guilty all the time. Yeah. I was feeling guilty. Like, oh, if I did work, I was like, oh, okay, well that was good work, but like it wasn't enough. And if obviously most of the time I wasn't doing work, or like on the weekends I was just like, oh, I should be doing work. And then I was like, no, obviously it's a weekend. This is good for me to not do work. But I'm still like, oh, I should be like, there's all these things. And then it just becomes a thing where you're not even looking at the thing itself or the game itself. It's just like. Yeah, it's just like all involved in this kind of like guilt mess.
Yeah, that's not an uncommon story. I think it happens to a lot of people with trying to write a book too. It's like really can become a guilt millstone. All right, yeah.
Wait, I have one question for Julián. So like, when do you think that lowest point hit for you? Like, what percentage of like the game's development?
I feel like the lowest point was maybe like 6 months after signing with Panic.
How long had you worked on?
I had worked on it for like 3 years, 3.5 years maybe.
And you say like the game took how long, like total?
Like 7 years.
Okay, so like halfway?
Yeah, kind of half. Well, at that point I felt, how do I describe this? I felt like I mean, I was just burnt out, really. And I didn't kind of know it. And I was thinking about this and struggling with this game for so long. And at that point, it was about to become, as you were describing before, like a job, or it had become a job. And I don't know, I was just also like, I realized I was like putting all my kind of effort and all my thinking into just procrastinating on it instead of actually working on it. Because that was kind of easier, but then I felt so guilty about that. I don't know. I mean, I still don't fully have it like all, like I don't understand it fully. I feel like now I finally left that, and now I can look back and hopefully really understand what I was feeling at the time. But I think that's when it was the worst.
Wait, could you repeat that question one more time?
So the question was, is there a time during the development of the game that you really feel like was the low point, where it was very hard to go on, and where you might have felt like, I should just quit this, and it's not going to happen?
I don't think we were ever going to quit, but I think we experienced that same sort of dread, like around the same point as Julián, like maybe a few months after signing.
Yeah, I feel like it's like when you're about 30% of the way in, right? Where this is like, you're past the game jam phase where every change you make is a huge change in the context of the game, and it feels like you're making tons of progress every time you go and work on it. That disappears pretty quickly, and then
you have to make the rest of the game.
Yeah, you have to go make the rest of the game, and that's a lot of like long amounts of work where it kind of feels like you're not accomplishing anything.
A thing that I equated it to when working on Baby Steps in the middle was that I felt like, okay, every day I'm going to go to work and I'm going to spit in a bucket. And someday that bucket will be full.
Yep.
Of spit.
Exactly. I think Derek, you calls it the swamp. That's what we called it for a while.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is that why there's so many swamps in games?
Yeah. Kind of
all the
psychological
spit.
profile of the development process, yeah.
Yeah. That's why it poisons you, I guess, too. So there wasn't like a particular time for you, but like not long after signing again, where maybe you felt like, okay, there's more expectation, or like.
It was probably 2020, I think. I remember like we had no idea how to end the game, what the other chapters of the games were going to be, how to even make this game fun, you know?
A certain sense of vertigo thinking about like the scope after it had expanded a bunch.
Yeah. They're just like, so, it felt like walking around in the dark, you know? Like you have no direction. No one's telling you exactly what to do. And like the game we ended up making is kind of a weird one, you know? It's like, and I guess that's why I ended up like developing like a hobby, which is ballet, which is just so like, there's such clear right and wrong, because I think when I was working on this game, there was no clarity, and like no one was telling me what was right or wrong. So like, you know, I really wanted that sense of like, yeah, I'm making progress. You know, I'm doing something.
You wanted like a list of things that you could check off.
Yeah,
and someone would score you and be like, yes, you got like, you know,
like I feel like
points.
we did not get that like as indie developers. No one told us what was right or wrong.
Nice observation. All right, let's bring it back up again. And so, if you had to pick, like looking back at your game now, and having to talk about it all the time, what's your favorite moment in the game? And I don't know if we have a clip we could pull it up, or maybe we already did. But yeah, if you had to pick like the thing that still makes you feel happy when you think about it or see it, if there is one.
I think for me, I mean, it is the end and that kind of ending transition, and also the last scene. Maybe this is because this is one of the last things we did put into the game, so I didn't get tired of it by like the time that we finished making the game. But I think it really, like that transition was actually Gabe's idea, but I had been talking about the kind of like, I was really obsessed with these like Google Maps and like Google Maps of New York City, which you might see something about that on No Quarter on next Saturday. But I was really obsessed with them, and I was just trying to, like, I don't know, this kind of idea of making a game that is actually set in the real world. And that all of a sudden tied it together, and like, oh, this is what we've been trying to do the whole time. Like, we've just been trying to use these real world assets into making like a video game where you're spending just like making something on the computer that doesn't exist, but kind of bringing in stuff that does exist into that, I think was very exciting. And I think that's kind of what I want to keep doing in the future.
Can you describe that end transition for people who haven't played?
I should have put a clip of it. Basically, just like describe what happens. Basically, you're just like, it's like at the end, and it's like the day that like Ecuador is playing the final match against Uruguay, and they have to. Well, we technically had to just tie to qualify, and we were trying to figure out how to like make that, but in the end, what you do is you just like kick a ball, and then it transitions into the real park that inspired the game. And it was this thing. Actually, Google Maps doesn't have this in Ecuador. So we had to do a whole big drone scan of the park, which was crazy to kind of conduct. And that was also just really fun part of like making a game that I was just conducting somebody in Quito to drone scan this park. And then, yeah, when that happens, I start to talk about how a lot of the game maybe is like a little constructed or more like a kind of different truths that are part of the game.
Nice, thanks. What about you guys?
I feel like there are two ways to answer this question, because I think there's one answer, which is like favorite thing to work on, and that being a moment. So I think for that answer, I like the eye contact interaction, like in chapter 2, where she's like sitting next to her love interest and they're like avoiding eye contact. I like that one.
The one that was impossible to tutorialize.
Oh, I guess lots of people don't get it, but I mean, if you get it, you get it, And
this is like the first date thing.
Yeah, that one.
You're not supposed to. You're supposed to like look, but then you have to look away if you make eye contact.
Yeah, I feel like that was like a fun thing to like come up with and implement, and that was like really early on. And so like the shopping sequence is like another one where they go to the mall. I think that was like I feel proud about that. But I guess like in terms of like not fun to make, but like favorite ultimately, I think I like the ending, and I also really like, I don't know if I should spoil it, but like the scene where AP sings a song. But a lot of people, especially in our Steam reviews, don't like either of those two things. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like those two feel like very, like when I play it, I get maybe a little emotional.
Yeah, well, that definitely means something. Thank you. AP, do you have a favorite moment in the?
I kind of just like the last 2 chapters of the game mechanically, because it's where the game kind of can go a little sicko mode in terms of like the difficulty, which is fun for me to play. Particularly for like the last chapter, because here's a semi-spoiler, you don't actually have to complete the chapter. It's a chapter that's supposed to feel like it's kind of impossible, because it sort of narratively
I got an A++.
Oh yeah, you actually
Did you
completed
do
it.
25 things in a day?
Yeah. Nope.
It's fun. It's because you got all the mechanics, and it's kind of giving you a very loose, like, oh, now you have to somehow find a way to do this thing, and it's kind of semi-randomized.
I had a day to chill at the end.
Oh yeah, wow.
I just laid around. It was a fun animation. I hadn't seen it.
Nice. Because you had to do 25 different things?
You had to do 25 different things. No, you had 25 different. You have to do 25 mini games in a day, basically.
Right.
25
okay.
activities.
Yeah. Wow. And how about you, Gabe? Favorite?
My favorite thing is maybe this skip game, because it's a very so the skip game in Baby Steps. It's like a AAA game where there are like 120 cutscenes for some reason, and you know how when you play a AAA game you have to hold X to skip it, and it fills a little radial dial around the icon in the corner. We have that for the first cutscene, and then the second time you do it, it takes a little longer, and then the third time it starts becoming reluctant to let you skip the cutscene, and then it becomes a little extremely difficult action game, where every level is more difficult.
Every one is a different, extremely difficult action game with no instructions.
You have to figure out the game, and then you have to complete it.
I've played all of them. They're terrible.
Yeah.
No, there's one where it's like swinging back and forth like a pendulum, and it disappears and stuff. It's like, it's the worst.
Yeah.
But you like that the best.
Well, what's so good about it, what tickles me about it is that it's something that could never exist in a game where the people making the cutscenes aren't also making the rest of it, like where you have actors, because it's kind of disrespectful to the work in a certain way. Because it's like, what's funny about it is that we're doing stupid antics, and you're furiously trying to skip them, and like you're just watching the corner of the screen. And meanwhile, we're like, oh, well, I'm like a little guy in the screen. Like, that's really, really funny to me. And then the ending is where if you've skipped...
Yeah, if you skip enough of them. Right?
If you get to the last level of the skip game, you think you've done it, and you can skip freely. Oh, yay, you can skip whatever you want. But then when you get to the ending, we break character and start talking about what we're going to have for lunch for 25 minutes.
Yeah, so there's an unskippable 25-minute cutscene.
No, well, you can skip it.
You can skip that one?
Yeah, but it's the hardest. It's really hard. It's really terrible.
I have not played that one then, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah, nice. So the because it's both like a crime against like what user interface convention, and also like it would somehow I don't know. You couldn't see that happening in a game that had like different departments of people working on it. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So very, very bespoke. All right. Nice. Well, I want to. It's like it's getting a little bit late, but we do have time for questions from the audience, and so I imagine if you guys want to. Come down. There's going to be a microphone right here, and come down and ask a question. You maybe it'll be a little quicker if you like have a question for a specific person up here. Oh wait, no, please don't injure yourself. Yeah, go for it.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Hey, mic check. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Okay, I've never made a game before, but I'm making a game now. And I'm very scared, but it's really fun. My question is, what's the best way to save a backup of your game while you're working on it?
You should probably use source control of some sort.
Like
Git is a
GitHub?
very popular one, but it's not the best in terms of user friendliness. So there are other ones out there. You can explore your options. Is Subversion still a thing? I don't know.
What do you use?
We use Git, but
yeah, we use Git. Julián uses Git. Everybody uses Git.
Okay, cool.
Good, easy answer. Thanks. All right, next. Where's the feedback coming from?
Imagine if you pick up infinite money from the floor. You have infinite money. What kind of game do you want to make?
I don't want anyone to steal my idea, so I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, wow.
Are you going to make a game
money? You're not worried about the idea being sold.
Oh no, my ideas are very stealable. Like someone tried to rip off Consume Me, and they ended up releasing it 5 years before we did, and I think they made more money too.
Do you want to make a game that's been played by everyone and everyone kind of likes it, or a game that's very liked by one person?
Everyone likes it, so I can sell 1 million copies. Duh.
All right, next.
I have a question for despelote. I love the final scene of the game where you kick the ball through the skies and stuff. I thought it was really theatrical and stuff. I want to know, out of the game, is there any particular inspiration for any particular like scene that has like a form, like the ball flying through, but you've covered already a lot about the parks and stuff, and I just want to know if there's any other like really theatrical scene.
For that final scene, well, there was a point where we were making a lot of like dreams. Was it dreams?
Yeah.
It was like there was a dream where you like turned into the ball, and I just thought, oh, this is genius. You gotta turn into the ball.
It was really sickening.
It was really sickening. No, but I had seen this short film by Gaspar Noé, who made like it's just like you're literally like people kicking a ball around, and it's shot from the perspective of a ball. And I was like, oh yeah, this works. This is perfect. And I was like, okay.
We had it way before Challengers.
We had it way before Challengers. Yeah, so that was the inspiration. And then a lot of it was like a lot of ideas, and then we were like trying to figure out where in the game they could fit. And I think for that one, it just felt very nice to like kind of wrap it up that way with like seeing everybody. And yeah, I don't know. I really like that scene.
Thank you.
Will you sign my copy of Consume?
Oh my God! Of course. What's your name?
Huh?
What's your name?
Casey.
Casey. How do you spell it?
C-A-S-E-Y.
Okay.
Also, I told all my friends to play this game, and none of them did. None of them. I'm calling out all of them. I'm sending them this video, and they will have to play the game. Also, the child of one of the people who funded the game did not play it. I told them to play it, did not play it.
You got to start making those daily TikToks.
Try
you know?
crying on camera.
Yeah, TikTok
Cry
every
a
day
little
until
bit,
1
yeah.
million people play the game.
Oh, I didn't realize we submitted to the ESRB. When did that happen,
Wait,
Jen?
what rating is it?
It's T for teen.
Oh, T for teen, perfect.
T contains teen.
Teens can play this game.
Marty Scott, second year MFA. Question for Gabe. It's kind of a general audio question about what's going on inside of Baby Steps. What? Why is this like, so you have these building rhythms, you have these triggers, what's going on? Can you describe?
Well, so that's really a question for Maxie. I didn't really have anything to do with implementing
Right,
that
I
stuff.
suspected this.
But I don't understand it. It's black magic in there. Okay. You know, it's scary in there.
I mean, that was my deep understanding from the
Yeah.
experience. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. So it's chaos, and we'll never know. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You could just ask Maxie.
No, this is better. It's all right.
Hello, my name's Bryant. I'm considering going for my master's in game design, a career shift, 10 years. So it's like, but you're saying 10 years to work on a game, 7 years, and I'm just like, did you guys have to like work at a bakery at some point during the production? Like, did you have to work at Chipotle just to like get to that, or were you good?
So how did you survive for the duration of development?
Well, yeah, I did some freelance kind of programming stuff for a while. I was like TAing Games 101 here for a bit.
Okay.
But then, we were lucky that we had funding from different sources throughout the years, and then I was able to do it like full time.
Panic published it.
Yeah, Panic published it.
We love them.
We love them.
Yeah, I think we were really lucky to get funding so that we didn't have to get like an additional job to like work on our game. It was like similar to Julián.
Yeah, we also had a publisher.
I see. Yeah. So you need that.
I hope you get money for your game.
It's not bad. How about for APE OUT? Did you?
I did also. I got Indie Fund. Right out
Indie
of
Fund
college,
for APE OUT, yeah.
And then Devolver a bit, and then also I was teaching, and yeah, made it work.
So, I mean, since you graduated quite a while ago, do you think it's still necessary to get a degree in game design before, or?
So 100% honesty.
Define necessary. What does necessary really mean? No one's going to check.
I think you can learn a lot of stuff, like especially game development online these days. But I don't think I could have made Consume Me without coming here and meeting the people I got to meet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, same for me.
So it was worth it.
Yeah. What about you? Did you meet anybody?
I didn't meet anybody here.
No, you didn't meet anybody who helped you on your games or anything.
No, I met everybody here. This is where everybody. This is the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I met all the people who are my community now and who I make games with and everything. And it's impossible not to recommend that. But also, maybe you can meet people for cheaper. It's complicated. I don't know. It's hard to say spending $120,000 on that and not using it to make your game while also attending many community events isn't maybe a slightly wiser use of money to some, but to me I would say spend whatever the cost. Whatever it takes.
Whatever,
if it's $1 million for NYU, that's what you gotta pay.
Okay, all right. Okay.
That's way more unethical than anything I've ever said in response to that question. When people ask me that all the time, right? And I say, no, you do not have to get a degree in order to make games.
Hello. First off, I want to say that I am currently on the post-grad making my own autobiographical indie game, Struggle Bus, so thank you so much for sharing your pain and your war stories. It resonates. And my question is, like, what was the most important thing that you guys did to manage to secure funding or like a publishing deal to make, and I say this respectfully, a pretty weird game?
I think the most important thing was seeking funding around 2018.
Oh, it was a good time.
It was a
That was a good year.
It was a good time to do that. Yeah, I'm not sure how the current ecosystem is looking at the moment. Well, maybe those Uggs from the audience confirmed a few things. Yeah, I don't know. It is very much like our approach to seeking funding was tethered to that time, and things are very different now. So we're kind of in. We're kind of in the same boat as everyone else now, where it's like, oh yeah, we have to figure out like how to navigate this new ecosystem too, and it's very different from, I don't know, the one that we found success in.
But I think what also helped was having like an online presence of the game and like making people excited about it. So I guess like be good at that, because that is something within your control a little bit. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think for me, we didn't try to hide like what made the game weird, especially as like a thing that could actually sell, which it hasn't that much also. But we were like, I think I kind of thought that like, oh, there's a lot of people that like want to see this kind of thing actually, even if they don't necessarily believe that it will sell. And I think I was trying to lean into that. Like, for example, yeah, it's a game that takes place in Ecuador, and people like don't even know where Ecuador is. And like, but a lot of people want to be like, oh yeah, games are this like diverse thing, and like you can play games that take place all over the world, and that's good. So I think we tried to like kind of tap into that. That kind of worked.
I think you should also apply to the Wings Fund. I think they're
I did
funding
that.
games. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. And there's a hint about where Ecuador is in the name, Ecuador.
I know.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
This is just out of curiosity. This is for Jenny. I've been following your Instagram for a while, and I saw that you posted like a lot of pictures of like your childhood self, like as a behind-the-scene thing. And like one of them included, I think it was like the love interest from the game. So I was like, wait, is like Joanna, like the other characters in the games, like are they like actually real? Do you know if like they like know about this or?
They are real, and I don't want to find out.
But also another aspect of this is they're real, but they're also fictional, because I've never met these people and I wrote all their dialogue.
Yeah, AP helped fictionalize them.
I think they are probably quite different than the real versions of them. So, yeah.
That's so funny. Can I get a selfie with you guys?
Of course. Wait, you want to do it now?
Rio, come on down while that's happening.
Thank you all so much for the talk. This question is also for Jenny. As someone who's also struggled with disordered eating, I found it like really hard to make any kind of art about it, because it's just so easily like it becomes so overwhelming so quickly. So my question is, as a creator, how are you able to find a balance between like making something that was authentically representative of your experience, but also having like boundaries between your present and past self?
I don't think I have boundaries. I think it was easier to work on Consume Me because it happened more than 15 years ago. I think it was probably like, I don't know, like 7 years. Let me think. It was like at least like 4 years after the thing that had happened when I started working on the game. And I feel like having that distance was helpful. I don't know. We could talk more after. Let me think about it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I thought I was the last question, but I was wrong. So I wanted to ask a question that I realize now that I'm saying it might not have a perfect answer, but how do you deal with burnout? I'm a current senior at the in the BFA program, and I'm making my capstone game, and I'm sitting there being like, I know what I need to write. Is it going to come on the screen? I don't know. So kind of dealing with like making a game that's so personal to you while also knowing that you have to like be able to express it and not lose interest in it, I guess. Dealing with burnout.
I think the obvious answer is like touch grass. Like you should do something that doesn't involve looking at your computer screen, like go outside. And this is why I like started dancing, because I had never done it before and it scared the shit out of me, but I think the great thing about it is like you have no space to like overthink or worry about stuff. So I feel like finding an activity where like you have to push out like any kind of overthinking is like super helpful, because your brain needs like space to just like chill out, and it's not doom scrolling, it's like focusing on something else. I highly recommend that. Yeah.
And I think also, well, this idea of like developing this relationship of guilt towards it is very bad. And I think, yeah, doing stuff where it's like, okay, I can do 2 hours, and being very realistic, like I can do 2 hours of work today. Like, and you just do the 2 hours and then you're like free. And that, I think, I don't know, setting kind of like a very low expectation schedule, but you do actually do. I think that at least worked for me whenever I was doing it. But
Didn't work that well.
I'm convinced that
it's positive advice.
That was the theory.
That was the theory, but I think it still worked.
Yeah, well, okay, yes, but the result was still misery and not that much work.
Well, I feel like I had already developed this relationship of guilt towards it, so I could never actually.
You could never implement.
I think we already established that Jenny is figured it out. With the 4 weeks on, 1 week off, and the ballet.
Yeah, I think if I was able to do it, like I feel like I was never able to switch off from like, okay, I should be working, even if I did do the 2 hours.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to do about that. Like, I mean, the reality is that you are on a time crunch. Like that's because.
What if we made a little desktop game that was on your desktop and it looked like despelote, and then when you worked for 2 hours, it would be like, "Thank you, Julián. I'm fine now."
Maybe you should have made that. Maybe
that would have saved it.
That would have helped. Yeah.
I don't need anything else today. Just forget about me.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
So thank you. I learned to touch grass and not be guilty about making games, I guess. Yeah. I'll take that one instead of whatever the hell just happened over here.
Okay. Thanks for the talk. My question is about baby steps, because previous games was more about 2D or like more simplistic 3D. And how was it to like go an all-in 3D, rigid body, motion capture, all this situation game? Like, was it like, oh shit, we just need to do it? Or was it like more planning and like trying to figure out who has more skill, who could do it, this stuff, or like, what was separation, let's say, or like how you figure out how you will get to it?
Well, I think the process for baby steps was like we kind of threw a bunch of assets in the project that all were like 70% working to get kind of a basic shape of it. And you could see those early prototypes were very bad, and they're built on, I mean, the final game is still built on like Final IK and Puppet Master. And, but it allowed us to kind of get the shape of it pretty quickly and do design iteration. And then kind of over the years, I could learn all those things that I needed to learn, and Bennett could learn all the things that he needed to learn at a reasonable pace. So you don't have to learn everything all at once. It's like, I would, rewrite the loading system and replace the one that we had an asset of eventually once I actually understood what it did, and that would be its own little project. But it meant that we could design the game kind of continuously without having to wait to learn those skills.
Thank you.
If they make a movie adaptation for your game,
Who would you want to cast as the lead actor?
There are no fat actors left in Hollywood, unfortunately, because of Ozempic. It's a huge problem. I would have said Jesse Plemons, but he's lost all the weight. I don't know what to do.
Is Zach Galifianakis? Is
He's skinny too.
Oh my God. Anybody else have?
I think Jenny has claimed that she would like to play the lead.
No, I didn't say that, but I would want my mom to play my mom. Yeah. Maybe Jenny from Blackpink could play me.
Julián, how about you?
I don't know.
You need a child. You need an actual child.
Child actor.
Actual child. Who's a good child?
There any good children?
Let's get one of the Stranger Things kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're still kids.
They're all grown up.
They're old.
But maybe that would be interesting
Yeah,
if they were old, but
It's
they
like
were.
Pen 15.
Yeah. Oh, a Pen 15 version of it. Yeah. The Stranger Things actors.
If we just got the girl from Pen 15 to play you.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, it's decided. Thanks. All right. Our last question. Then we'll wrap up.
Hi, thank you for the talk. My question is, why do you make games, and do you think indie games can make a change in the world?
I've been thinking about this because I've been in a reflective moment in my life where I have a little bit of space to think about it. We just made a trailer for the Switch release of Despelote, which was really fun. It's a weird trailer. I don't want to spoil it, but it's not normal. You should check it out when it comes out. But it doesn't sell the game at all. It kind of rejects that whole thing. And I found it really kind of invigorating to make it, actually, after working on something that was so long and so kind of, by the end, just about polish, like making something that's free and kind of directly communicating or something. And I don't know, it has made me kind of remember this feeling of like, oh my God, this thing would be so beautiful if it existed. I want it to exist. And then you can make it exist, and then you show someone and they're like, how? I don't know, that's what I like.
My turn. So I feel like no one's gonna hire me. Like I can't do anything besides make Consume Me and make my terrible TikTok. So I feel like that's why I'm gonna continue making games. But when I first started making games, I genuinely think I did it because I loved doing it. It felt so good. It felt so cool to like have a little prototype and show it off, you know? And I think that was like the driving thing. And as for games changing things, like why not? Maybe.
I think, I don't know, for me, I am just really excited about certain ideas that could be made with games, like all this stuff I was saying about like using the real world and bringing it into a game. I think that hasn't been done that much. And I just want to see it also. And I want to have that feeling of showing it to somebody and be like, oh yeah, this is great, and this is new, and this changes my perspective on whatever. So I think, yeah, I definitely have some push to do that.
But do you feel like it's moral? Is that what you're asking? Like, do you feel like there's a moral aspect to making art in general?
No, I think it's just generally curious about your take on like whether it can make a change at all.
What does it change?
I don't know.
If you make someone smile, like.
Is that it? I mean, that's a change. I mean, functionally, there's a change. The game thing exists now.
Like this, like a little 8-year-old girl now knows what a dick looks like.
Right.
Then I just need to bring it back to the beginning of the, yeah. But you meant like a positive influence on somebody or something. Yeah.
I mean, why do this? Or like, do you ever like question whether, why choose to make indie games? Why not do other things or do other creative outlet, or join a gaming company?
Well, joining a game company, that seems miserable. You don't want to do that. You get fired. Also, other bad things happen.
You get fired
Punch.
again on your next project. You get fired. Yeah.
All sorts of bad things happen. Nobody likes it, I don't think. And then you don't have to work on somebody else's stupid idea. That sounds awful.
I can also just say that working for a larger company doesn't appeal to me because you'd be siloed off into doing one specific thing, or basically the role would get a lot more specific than if you're working on an indie game where you're kind of required to do everything, right? And it's like, I like to do a lot more than just program. I like to write, I like to make music, I like to draw, all of those things, and it's like being able to do all of that is a plus for me, I guess. And
You get to see the whole thing. You get to see it holistically, like
Yeah.
as a piece of art, as opposed to like you have your own little beaver den where you work on the sticks and nothing else, you know?
the sticks and nothing else. Yeah.
Weren't you saying you were just like placing rocks like around for like, you know?
Wait,
That sounds really AAA, actually.
that was only one of my many dens. I had so many little dens of rote menial work that I had to do on the game. And I enjoyed when I got to move to a new den, it was like, oh, I haven't seen you in a little while. Let me click the button for a while.
So you got to be like 16 different menial AAA employees
Yeah.
just in one body.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Do you feel like you got enough of an answer to your question? All right, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of our panelists for being here. I think I forgot to introduce, I think most of you know who I am, but I'm Naomi Clark. I'm the chair of the NYU Game Center, and it's been my distinct honor to have folks here for the last lecture series event of the semester.